All right, these are the long shotguns. They come in two colors, solid black and then brown and black. The parts that you want to tape off and brown are the grip and the buttstock. Make sure that when you do this, you take off the rubber cap that comes on the end here, because the rubber that goes on the end of these cannot get spray paint on it or it will get sticky and turn yucky, and we don't want that. So pop off the end before you brown all of this. This little nubbin here, you can tape off. If it gets to be a pain in the butt taping them off because they're kind of tiny and tedious, you can touch that up with leather paint later. But once you have the brown on here, what you're gonna do is this section here, you're gonna grease. So make sure to wear gloves because this gets messy. Take your brush, get a little bit of water in there, get a little black. You gotta get down in those grooves. Make that look nice and greasy down in those grooves. Then you can take a wet wipe and wipe it. Come back with paper towel. Make sure that it's good and dry before you take a dry brush. So you got your wet brush for greasing, dry brush. Now we're going to take the dry brush, get a little bit of black on there. Then tap it onto your paper towel to get the excess off. And then wood graining is kind of similar to dry brushing in that we're gonna go the long length of the gun. So we're gonna go the long way and we're just gonna kind of go over it. Now you can change the angle of your brush. I'll show you on this end section here, it's much easier to see. So you can change the angle of your brush and you can go wide like this to kind of get that scuffing wood grain look, or you can change it and go sideways like this to just, and you always want to make sure that you go the long way and go with the grain. Now if you get big chunks in it like this, if they're not too big, they kind of work because it just makes it look like the knots in the wood. But if they get really big like that, just take your wipe and then kind of blend, go back over it and kind of blend your wood grain into that. So, but you always want to go the long length of the gun. It helps too if your brush is just a tiny bit wet, not a whole lot. You don't want to dunk it in the water like you do with greasing, but if it's a tiny bit wet, you can actually like really lighten those brush strokes and like really get in there and like, it creates a much finer brush stroke. But real simple, just like that. See how much finer these marks are? And these, they're a little chunkier. These are thinner, finer. And don't forget to get all of the edges. Sometimes when you get these curved edges, like here, it can be hard to get that to go in there without it chunking up like that. But just follow, if you kind of whip it, you can get those grooves without getting it too chunky. I say that and it got really chunky. But that is essentially Wood Grain 101. Ta-da!